Hello everyone and welcome back to the RedSeaPodcast. This is Dennis as usual and uh, I'm happy to be back with another recap. I am a few minutes late. I am aware of that and I know that's as rare of an occurrence as it gets. Uh, as much chaos as this show has, it prides itself on being on time. Right? But you all voted for the recap to happen today, so it's happening today. I honestly love this. I love this because they give me so much freedom of planning. In general, they give me such a lax feeling to know that I can plan the media like this, and if needs be, I'll do a recap show on Monday. It's the best, and honestly, I am glad because a lot of you have told me that you do enjoy this format. I hope that goes for all of you. And of course, I always take recommendations for stuff you want me to change. I am hopefully, fingers crossed, going to go live tomorrow as well. I am planning to take the EuroLeague games this week separately. But if stuff changes, of course, I'll be the first one to let you know on all the socials. Socials which you can find either by scanning this code right here that will take you to the link tree, and there you'll find, of course, the YouTube right here where you can check out all the backlog of vlogs, interviews, and such with stuff coming soon. I'm trying to run stuff as smoothly as I can in the background. The Spotify in which all episodes go, the Instagram and Twitter where you have constant updates on everything. You now have snaps from the games, and in general, as much interaction as possible. The motto of the show is more or less the voice of the voiceless, right? It's run by a random fan for all of you, and it's a judgment-free zone more than anything. So you can comment anything, disagree with me, agree with me, message me, ask questions. Of course, everything is open-ended with the show, and that won't change for anything, right? And the Twitter has everything that the Instagram has, but it's a bit easier to share random thoughts on there as well. So if you want a more personal and very unhinged side of the show and me, even general thoughts, not just sports, go check out the Twitter as well. The TikTok that gets clips, I am trying my best to work on the clips, and that as much as I can do that, at least gets random highlights from games, as much as I have permission to do that. And everything else you need is down in the description. And honestly, I hope you enjoy your stay if you're new. And if you've been watching for a while, the support lately has been unimaginable. For those of you that keep watching the details in general, you'll have seen what I mean. For those of you that haven't, go check out the socials, as I said. And I couldn't be more grateful. We're ending 2025 in a big way, and I can assure you that as much as we are running off, I can't really care that early anymore. Uh, Me and Gav are forever grateful, and I know that I've been on the forefront lately more than anything, but Gav has been very busy, but I can assure you that he'll be back very soon, and he's excited to be back very soon. And we both have a lot of plans coming. Now, with the shameless plugs out of the way, let's get things started because we have a bunch of things to cover again. I need to start with this as much as the basketball is going to take a majority of this episode, just a round of goddamn applause for the girls of football. A massive shout to them. Something historic has started, and that's clear. Something incredible has started, as we're already seeing. There is also amazing chemistry of a family, not just a team, a family fitting into this organization perfectly, that's ready not to make us proud, not to make themselves proud, but that's ready to represent these colors and these buds rightfully and to conquer the goddamn world. The support of this department deserves out of the door already is insane. The performance is insane. I mean, as much as you can say anything you want, winning 10-0 away in the first game of the department's history is maddening. 10-0 away at Ethnikos Kalamata. And I can give a massive shout to everyone. The first ever goal scored from the department is on the socials. It's on TikTok. It's on the shorts here on YouTube. It's up on Instagram. It's up on Twitter. You can go check that out. But a massive shout out to specific player. Massive shout out to the the girl that's probably gonna score around 30 to our female killer, to Vivian, and only girls, honestly, uh, that contributed to this. I think even I'm trying to find the words. I think historic is an understatement. Just massive, massive, unbelievable props, right? And I will actually flip some stuff because I want to go into the basketball games last to not just split the time from the Stephanie. And I didn't know how to title this section otherwise, so I just titled it Unstoppable. What's there to say? What's there to say? Of course, the two results, technically three results I'm talking about, is the Water Polo for the girls that after their wins against Williameni, they go and beat Alimos 7-26. Like, I know that we're used to seeing these results, even Gizmo Grid. I know that we're used to seeing these results, but they are insane. 7-26. We have unstoppable teams, and that shouldn't go under the radar. The work being done shouldn't go under the radar in any way, right? And of course, the other department I want to focus on is the one that just pulled out the second leg victory needed against Albatro, winning the first game 28-34 and winning the second game here at home 38-25. And what's there to say about these boys as well? I know this gets absolutely tiring, but undefeated in the league, demolishing in Europe. It's you run out of words very quickly about how impressive everyone's performance is, and you run out of words very quickly about the props everyone deserves, right? Just insane performances all around that honestly stand to make you anticipate what's set to come even more, in my opinion, at least. Because even with the absolute steamrolling of everybody, the absolute steamrolling of everybody, we're still in mid October. Like, the team is gonna tell even more as the season goes on. All of the teams are gonna tell even more as the season goes on. And that's scary to think. That's honestly scary to think. And speaking of unstoppable and indescribable and unbelievable and God knows all the words needed to describe this man, Mathieu Valbuena. Mathieu bloody Valbuena. Uh, what a thriller of a game from the B team. It's back to winning ways, getting over that Kalamata loss very fast. In a great game to watch, honestly, against position rivals. I won't say promotion rivals because no doubt the B team can get promoted, but position rivals, Athens Califea, beating them 2-3 at the El Paso, and Mathieu Valbuena. Just that name alone. Mathieu picks up a brace, a much needed brace, converting a penalty won by the ever impressive Argiriou. Won by the ever impressive Argiriou. You have to shout him out for his performance. And then, just 1 week after that insane free kick against Kalamata, he does it again. And this time, it's not a consolation goal. This time, it's a goddamn late winner. And honestly, I've said it before. I'll say it again. Also, Mazar scoring the first goal, shouting him out as well, needing to shout him out as well because it's great to see that the B team has picked up a bit of an old school-ish striker, an out and out striker that can put the ball back of the net with, I won't say relatively, but he's more than competent. He's good. He has the potential to get into something impressive, honestly. And now, of course, Olympiacos B stand third with a record of 3 wins, a draw, and a loss, only behind Kalamata and Panionios, keeping Califea, as I said, behind. I've said it many times, and I'm gonna sound a bit like a broken record, honestly, but it's such a nice sight to see that the B team, ever since coming back this year, is run so well from the top to the bottom. Talents getting chances, academy players getting chances, more opportunities to pick up the base of the club for the future. Players like Nevmonidis and Yatsikouras being able to fall back, take some pressure off their shoulders, and come back to the A team when needed. A coach that is ideal to get the best out of these players, and mentors like Mathieu Valbuena and Dimitris Siovas to keep these players focused and to teach them all their absolute magic. and experiences, right? There are no flaws in this meeting. And I've said it, I've made the comparison before. It's not like that absolute trash can that the beating was treated like when it first got created. And that shows from the results alone, right? Yeah, the beating is not standing to be the Panathinaikos or title rivals of the 18. But I feel like this team stands in a position where if it was allowed to get promoted, to fight for Europe. And that says a lot about the squad, and that says a lot about what we can anticipate coming up into the 18 slowly but surely. And even if you look further down, or under 19s, or under 17, there is a line of talent everywhere, and there is a line of talent that finally has unbreakable steps to make their way to the 18, and they won't either get lost in a B team that's been run very poorly or out on loan. It's steps, it's organized steps, and it steps with coaches that will protect them and send them up when they're ready, with coaches that will prepare them accordingly, both mentally and physically. And it's nice. It's nice to have. Nice is an understatement, of course, but it's wonderful to have such a clear vision and such a well-run machine, honestly, because the club is running now like a well-oiled machine. As much as the form of the A team has been a bit questionable, but we'll get to that when time's due. And now, let me fix up the stats so I have them in front of me. Nope, that was a spoiler for, for what we'll talk about in a bit. Olympiacos, DC, and the incredible last two games that they've had. I know I have missed the first two in regards to talking about the EuroLeague, but the things that we showed against Dubai, despite the absences, with the most notable one, of course, being that of Evan Fournier, the potential we showed, the positive things we showed, and combining that with not just a performance that was good enough to do so, but a performance that was concentrated enough to close out the game by 19. That was not just much needed, it was a necessity. We pulled it off, honestly, better than most would expect. And the thing I want to tackle first actually doesn't have to do with the game at all. For those of you that have been watching me or listening for a while, you know what a deep breath means, especially when talking basketball, right? What will it take for this department to get unconditional support? What will it take for the stereotypes and the prejudice, I guess, to go away from this department? What will it take for the same exact things to be said on loop every single time? Not even when the team loses. Even if the team goes into half time, I'm spoiling the power game. Even if the team goes into half time and is losing, is having a poor half, everything goes to shit. Like, I'll reel it back to the Dubai game in a second, but we go into half time against Pau and we're losing by 5, and you go on socials and you think we're losing by 25. I know that it's the vocal minority, right? But as a person that's trying to convey a platform that is trying its best to be unbiased with conveying the law for the club, and that's trying its best to say that criticism is okay to a level and within logical barriers, right? I will never understand, and it will probably never stop annoying me how there is such a vocal minority, because I know it's a vocal minority, I know, but how that minority exists and that minority's goal is to just whine and moan and bitch about everything. I will never. If someone has any logic behind it, and it's not even the Panda fans, it's not even like a man crying about the referees publicly. It's not Shorts, it's not Lucas anymore. It's no one. It's no one. Our quote unquote again fans that are doing all that for no reason, those are the ones that will continuously keep annoying me and bringing up this argument. Hopefully, not every single episode this time talking about basketball. But let's reel it back in. A very good performance against Dubai, and as we head into another double week playing FS tomorrow, and pretty sure we play Maccabi next, if I'm not completely mistaken. It was needed motivation, but it was needed motivation for the derby as well, which of course now you know how that resulted. We basically ran the game, set the fourth, which was tied, starting off very well with 23 to 16. Second quarter, we went 20 to 15, 28 to 21, keeping a steady lead on the third, and of course, fourth quarter ended tied. Honestly, no complaints. How can you complain when you win with 19, right? But in general, the performance was good. Like, there is nothing to say. We went 59 from the 2, we went 36 from the 3, which left us with 28 out of 56, which is 50%, of course. We dominated the rebounds. We basically were even in the assist margin. We lost the lead for a minute in the game. Lost the lead for a minute, which says more than enough. And honestly, even if you look at the stats alone for the game, there is no one to really complain about. Of course, the man, the myth, the legend, the man that's one of the few apparently running for the season of their careers, but the man that it's insane to say that he got even better, and that of course is Sasha Vezenkov, right? With a 25, 11, and 1 combined with a block, I remember correctly, I just wanted to check. 75 from the 2, 50% from the 3, which left him with 64% from the field goal and a plus minus of 34. 34. Sasha is continuing what he did last year, and it shouldn't shock anyone. What is sort of well, not shocking because it is Vezenko, is that he's getting better. I think we're seeing confidence Sasa again. And there are games where he'll take a bit to get into the game, like the derby yesterday. But if Sasa keeps showing confidence, Sasa is not even Sasa is not Tyler. Which being a confident player isn't bad in especially this year's Tyler's case. But if Sasa builds confidence and goes from putting quite 20s down to putting 30, for example, right? We will unironically see another MVP season from Bezenko. I mentioned him. I mentioned him. And I need to talk about him. I'll go to the derby after, as I said. I feel like, again, broken record, but this is the best case scenario of broken record. What season Tyler's having? It's unbelievable. And I'm not saying that in a derogatory way at all. But it's unbelievable. Compare, of course, the running joke is that it's ahead. But compare the mentality that Tyler had last year. Not just because of himself. We all know what Tyler went through. We all know what happened. And no one can blame him in hindsight, right? But compare last year's Tyler really quick to the few games this season has had. And as much as it's not that, it feels like a whole new player. It feels like a whole new transfer. And I couldn't be happier for the guy, honestly. Of course, against Dubai, he put up 14 with 86% from the free throws and a solid 33 from field goals, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists, which is very good, but not nearly as insane as his derby performance. But as I said, we'll get to that. Combine that 2 steals and a plus minus 17. And honestly, Tyler can have the best season of his career. And that, in the state the team is now, can prove to be very, very decisive. I think decisive is the word, right? Speaking of career seasons, speaking of a man that does play the confidence game a lot, speaking of a man that I have been preaching and defending for a while, gotta take my small victory, right? And speaking of a man that is actively bleeding red and white, that's Nikola Milutinov. People doubted the ability for him to stay fit. People doubted the ability for him to start. We heard that we overpaid for his renewal. We heard everything. And here is Milutinov being one of the best bigs, not just in the league, but in the EuroLeague, absolutely dominating and working at the top of his game to fix any flaws that game still has. 13 and 11, huge double against Dubai, being 100% on field goals and just missing one free throw. Of course, a solid 11 rebounds, solid like it's so simple. And just two turnovers and a plus minus of 25. I forgot if I said that already. Nico Milutinov can have career change. Nico Milutinov can have a career season, next season, where he's the undeniable starter. The problem is that he does feel a bit helpless sometimes due to Donta being a bit underwhelming up to now and Costas not playing. But taking out the general factor and focusing on Nico alone, I think he's in the form of his life. I think that's safe to say. And as I said, I think the most important thing is that his work ethic is through the roof now that he's the undeniable starter of the team. And good health, stays fit. I feel like we'll see a whole different Milutin than we expect. Of course, Frank Nilikina having to cover 15. Very solid performance once again. Uh, Honestly, he's integrating himself into the team better than even I expected, and I was one of the positive about this. I was one of the hopefuls about this transfer. And as much as there is stuff to fix, he has been tasked with a role to cover a lot more time than expected, and he's adapting to that very well. And I think this baptism of absolute fire, along with the passion he's showing, along with the hard work, as I mentioned, for Milo as well, and along with the quality he's showing, because he is showing quality. I feel like even the doubters will be shut up very, very soon, and I feel like the the negatives. No, no, no. It's not negatives. The doubts of his game will disappear very fast, and we'll see the best of him because this is nearly the best we'll see of Frank Ntilikina. I am more than certain of that. I feel like we'll see the best of him very soon. And another individual performance I want to talk about, as much as Alec had a very good performance, captain is that he's all around very good again. And again, I'll repeat the phrase I said on Twitter and I kept saying last year, a good Papanikolaou is a good Olympiacos. Those go together undeniably and undoubtedly. But speaking of very Papanikolaou is performances, but prime Papanikolaou. Let's go to who is making a very, very solid case to be the steal of the season. That's someone that people didn't really know what to think about. That's Tyson Ward. We talked about it in the Marusi game where we said, yeah, okay, he played amazingly. He was clear MVP. But it's Marusi on the other hand. But now we go to the EuroLeague. We go against Dubai, where again, relatively easy game. Picks up 22 minutes, picks up solid 5 points, solid 5 rebounds, especially on the defensive end, which if you had got the report on board, which we did in the summer, that split with the defensive and offensive rebounds was there always, and it's showing again. Uh, Along that, still in 2 blocks, with a plus minus of 5 being run more or less because of the foul. He's showing glimpses of a prime Paparicola. I can't get it out of my head. So someone said it on Twitter, and the performance of the derby points out two of those comparisons more. But the man is a demon in the ball. Don't get me wrong, but defensively, off the ball, and in general, as a hype man of the crowd, as an electric player, as a passionate player, as a player that immediately fell in love with the Olympiacos culture, mentality, and everything, and as a player that just naturally fit like a goddamn glove. I can't get it out of my head. I really, I can't. I don't know why. And honestly, let's get to what we have basically been talking about immediately, so we can go ahead and focus more on this month for the start. Of course, the derby happened yesterday. We all, as usual, left with that big danger of a heart attack. I think it's safe to say. Uh, 90 to 86, a bad first half. You can, let's call it how it is, right? It was a bad first half, but a second half that showed a whole different Olympiacos. A second half that showed greatness that we needed to see to win this game. Second half that showed both defensive and offensive, not quality, but consistency and stability that we needed to see to win this game. And a second half that proved vital in aiming to win this game, and especially that fourth quarter. Game went point to point to lead like usual. Then we had a run in the third, and then the crucial fourth quarter with a lot of people speaking with their character. And honestly, the stats were very good as well. Like, there is no complaint there either. A solid 68% from the two, a solid 73 from the free throws, which is, as always, something to keep an eye on given the long-term troubles of this team with the free throws. Not amazing from long range. That was one of the two main problems that would have cost us the game. Maybe one of the three, but we'll talk about that. Which left us with a solid 52 from the field goals. Again, rebounds dominated, assists very well. Of course, 14 lead changes, as I said before. And let's go to the man that I considered the MVP because I thought his performance was as vital as it gets, right? From crucial shots to incredible defending to getting the chef rocking and shaking because after that celebration, after that incredible three, there is no other way to describe what that celebration brought out of the fans. Playing 31 minutes in the derby with 12 points, a very solid 50% from the field goals, 5 rebounds, all defensive, 5 assists, and a block that I think everyone celebrated. That was, of course, on Slukas and the plus minus of 9 passion. The X factor, because she was the X factor of the derby for me. And quality, hard work, even to the last second of this game. And once again proving why he has been making a big case for being the steal of the season. Of course, the man that the club considered MVP, and as I said when I made the post about World, you could make an MVP case for that game for like 5 people, and you'd be right in saying all 5. And that's why the personal MVP opinions are always a big variety, right? But of course, the club's MVP was Sasha Vezenkov, who played 33, putting up 22 points with a 71% from the field goal, despite being 100% from the mid range. He was just 20% from the three, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, and just 2 fouls with a plus minus of 11. Now going back to this man, what a performance! Again, what a performance! This man, similar to a man returning very soon, uh, was vital. This man is green and completely transformed. He almost played the entire game, 37 minutes, picked up 16 uh, with 5 rebounds and record, a career record of 8 assists, and an insane, and I think this is the most vital stat to put up, not even the career record, of 0 turnovers. 0 turnovers. I, I, I think I'm making this sound way, way simpler than it is. 0 turnovers, not just in a game. 0 turnovers derby is mental. It's absolutely mental. The pressure alone, and you having the concentration and the will to stay flawless, literally, in the game is something that should have been mentioned a lot more, and is adding to his absolutely maddening season. And as I said before, speaking of maddening season, back to Milutinov. Milutinov, who absolutely dominated, especially the very disappointing to complete another disaster that is Arizona Holmes, right? When you get outplayed by Omer, that says a lot. Uh, but no matter who he had in front of him, Niko Milutinov played dominant role in the win, especially in that second half, like mentioned before, playing 23 minutes, picking up 12 points, 6 out of 8 free throws, a solid 60% from mid-range, 5 rebounds and 2 assists, a steal and a block, which led to a plus minus of 14. Last but not least, of course, Milikina as well, with the highlight of his game being that incredible dive for the ball, which is one of the photos where all you can say is just hanging in the goddamn blue, playing 18, uh, getting 7 with 38%, 2 rebounds and 0 assists, but still to his name. The only problem with Frank is that he fouled early and fast, which took him out of the game a bunch. But for the time he played very well. I have no complaints for this man's first derby in his third golden game, right? But as mentioned, of course, as I said, Alec, the ever consistent Alec, had a great game as well. Donta needs more confidence, but the time he got at the end may prove to be vital because he did get into the game when he needed to get into the game, but he needs to keep up his hard work and add to the insane athleticism that he brings so he can consistently bring what the team needs. Lee savingly showed up, didn't show up. He's too inconsistent, sadly, which leads to him being underwhelming. And Lee's not a bad player. Lee's not a point guard, first of all. But the fact that he has been moved to that position leads to unreliability and inconsistency. Now, if Coach B thinks that he can work on that and show up consistently like he did that small amount of time in the third quarter where he did give to the team what was needed when Nilikina was out with foul in, but he needs to do more. It's as simple as that. But I want to finish off with this one. Uh, it's insane. Like it's what I said before. I can't get it out of my head. So Papa Nicolau like just insane. Such an insane performance by Tyson Ward. Such an impressive player and just amazing. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. But that's about it for me today. I hope I didn't forget anything because it was a lot to catch up on once again. Hence, almost going an hour once again. Hope you all enjoy the recaps. I really do. I hope it's a bit of long form content which you can just either put in the background and relax, do chores, whatever everyone prefers. And we'll see you all hopefully tomorrow after the game. But if not, I'll see you all at the end of the week again so we can cover just out and out basketball, the two games, and then it's back full force with football as well. I don't think I'll do a show for this year. I was considering adding the performances to this show, but honestly, I don't know what to say. I think I need to sleep on it a few more nights to have any form of competent thoughts to express about what happened. And honestly, what the plan with FSD is probably gonna be, I know that we have been knocked out. There is no point. But with everything that may happen up until the last two games, I wanna wait and see what happens. And then hopefully if it may falls well up until then because it's a while again and stuff changes of course. I want to just sit down, hopefully with God, and just talk about the entirety of the qualifying campaign and what went so wrong again. And of course see what happens with Jovanovic and stuff up until then. Even though it down stuff will change. But yeah, that's about all of it. Hope you all enjoyed. Have an amazing night. Have an amazing day. Or whatever in between. No matter where you're watching or listening. And again, in a time that isn't the easiest in life in general and personal life, I am super grateful for each and every single one of you, for even in the worst of times, as I said, uh, of the last episode, for proving me that even when darkness is really looming and it's not gonna go away anytime soon, proving to me that there is always just that unstoppable ray of sun. The best has yet to come. I truly believe that. Can't say it enough, and it really doesn't cover enough. But for now, that's been my patented outro. So, thank you. See you in the next